Everything cool, you know. See, we make big money moves. You see this? You see this? Hold on. Let me. Lo and Bob, I'll bust you with the ball. I ain't gonna throw the money because you know we gonna have to clean it up afterwards, but I can keep it in my hands. See, they saying 20s. But yo, listen to me. Listen to me. Tell me when you don't see 100 no more. I think you probably see 100. Yeah, that's a $20 bill right now. Well, welcome back to the show again. It's been a minute. It's been a while. We have a very special guest in the building. We have our usual suspects in the party next door. Well, not party next door, party in the backyard. We have P. Giovanni on the board.
That's right, PG13, aka your favorite non-big, aka too many AKAs.
Hey.
I can put all the AKAs in there today.
Also hidden in plain sight. And then we also have Rakia.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm mad that Ricky ain't got no AKA though. Like, you can't follow up 16 AKAs with Rikia.
All I got is AKAs. I'm Ricky, AKA Loki, AKA Super Strategist, AKA Digital Content Creator, AKA National Head YouTuber, AKA I guess Super Movie.
AKA I never like to use the microphone.
AKA, that's so true.
Oh man. So you know what it is. It's the Negus of Nassau, St. Anton Alexander, Lord Jalen Willard, bringing you another episode of Everything Cool in the month of March. But right after March is coming a special moment because this is gonna come out at least before March over. Because when March is over and April come, you already know things are done because Everything Cool turns 2. And we got a big whole like campaign rollout plan for that. So stay tuned. But let us introduce our special guest. Please give your name, sir.
Hey everybody, my name is Jay Johnson. I am a podcast host, 1/3 of the Dollars and Cents podcast. I am the host of Front Seat Finances, the financial show. So yeah,
Cool. I hope this ain't like, you know, a conflict of interest you on like the competition.
No, we good. Collaboration over competition, man.
Hey, that's it.
And plus you get the bub over here, so it's like you gotta go where the money reside, right?
Where the money reside. So before we start every show, we like to start off with the Bahamian word, phrase, or saying of the day. And we always like to give that to our host. Not our host, our guest. So whatever you come up with, you could go with.
So you know the Grammy is just gone, and I just was thinking like, but it'd have been so dope, like if a Bahamian win a Grammy, and the first thing he said was like "Mother Sick."
Did we have Mother Sick already? Yeah, I
feel like y'all should have had Mother Sick, but Mother Sick is such a legendary word. Like we gotta say it again because Mother Sick could be like surprise. Mother Sick could be angry. Like you could fit Mother Sick in any situation.
Actually, yeah, we did. Insert clip here.
With the Mother Sick?
No, I have a next podcast called with Mother Sick.
Legendary.
But I think we should do an honorary one for today, especially for today.
Or
An honorary saying for today should be bust him with the bub.
Bust them with the slabs.
Slabs.
This don't mind. I playing with the Monopoly money because the real money coming soon. Money coming, just like what Prophet Lawrence Roll always says. Money coming. Money cometh. But today, you know, in line with our theme for the year, you know, Return of the Mac. First, like, you know, in January we talked about, you know, shooting your shot, talk about Bahamian saying. February we got Harrison Thompson to talk about mental health. But after the mental is the money.
Yeah.
Because my mind be on the money. See what I saying? So we have to talk, get financially literate. Because obviously we're in a pandemic, but it's certain things I feel like certain people could have done, we could have done as a people to sort of mitigate some of the effects of the pandemic. If we had a little bit financially planned a little bit before, like, you know, maybe saving up a rainy day. Because I know personally, if it wasn't for my savings in my credit union, boy, I'd have been...
Are you spitting now?
Hard times.
Who did you with the credit union?
So in 2017, right, I started my financial literacy journey because I came back from school, right? And I was like, but I thought I could get a job or in the US and be straight. And then, I can send money to my parents and everything would be straight. But I realized that ain't the way. That's not how it works. So I had to understand how money works. So after like consulting with my father, who was a financial controller for like 30 years, and like my best friend mom, shout out to Ms. Raman, who also is a financial advisor. I was like, okay, so you have to build wealth by, you can't save yourself to wealth, but you have to invest, you have to do certain things. And because, every jurisdiction is a little bit different, I had to see how that is in the Bahamas. I couldn't go and it says you could buy stocks and bonds and all these different things. But it's similar tools you could use from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, everything. I feel like everything would look the same, but like you said, they work a little different. So our stocks over here, that's BSX or the Bahamian Stock Exchange or what's not. We do have our version of like Wall Street, but it isn't as active as Wall Street. So when people be like, oh, the Dow, the stock market going up, no.
Okay.
Cable Bahamas shares ain't really moving like that or nothing like that. So we have our versions of it. It's just ain't as exciting as the States, I guess.
Okay, so Mr. Johnson, how do I become a millionaire in the Bahamas?
Well, you run for government, you win your seat, and then you. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that.
Put your hand in the cookie jar. Maybe we can leave that right there.
But being a millionaire, that takes a lot of strategy and smart moves. I feel like it's learning the systems that we have in place and then learning how to work those systems.
Okay.
So
what I learned about when I became financially literate, and I also had the opportunity to work on the Get Money Smart campaign.
Oh, okay, with Central Bank.
Yeah, what they did like
Bank one time.
2 years ago. And I feel like people didn't really pay attention to that like they should. But what I learned in my early financial literacy journey was, first you got to clear your debt.
Yeah.
Then you start trying to save. Like you start to divvy up your money, you like 50, 30, 20. Like you use 50% of your income on your expenses, whatever. 30 to save and 20 to invest. That's the like the number I use.
Yeah, that's just the basic rule of thumbs. Like, okay, 50, break it up in ratios like that, or it's like the rule of 100, whereas how far you are from 100, that's how much years you should be invested in and things like that. But I feel like while you have basics, everyone's financial position different. So you got to understand like where you at with it and then know where to get it from or where to start from. Because say, like you saying clear out your debt. If a person don't have no debt, then they could really skip that portion. Or it's like if a person's still living at home, they don't really have that much expenses, so they're 50. Don't really have to be 50, it could be 20 and things like that. So it's like understanding where you at with your finances and then going from there.
Okay. So what do you say? Okay. So after like doing that ratio, and I was like, what do I invest in the Bahamas? What can bring me a return? That's how I got introduced to the credit union. But I want you to tell the viewers, what's the importance and the difference between putting your money in a credit union versus a commercial bank?
Okay, so the difference is a huge difference because with commercial banks now, they use the word interest. So technically they do pay interest, but the interest isn't anything at all. So you get like 0.1 or something like that on your basic savings account. So no matter how much money that you have sitting in there, you can have $1 million sitting in your basic savings account and you rarely get any interest. That's one thing. With the credit unions, they are smaller financial institutions, whereas they actually offer interest. Now, I think the highest interest rate now might be a 4% at one of the credit unions.
Yeah.
So that's a significant difference from just your basic commercial bank. And that interest plays a part, whereas in your savings, it actually grows.
Okay.
Interest means that they give you money for banking with them or having your money stored there, because ultimately all these institutions use your money to make money. So you get a piece of their profit back. So I'll use the example. I ain't calling names because I still bank with banks, but the bank would have all your bub. You just put your slab in the bank.
Wait, stop. Hold on.
Slap it down. You put that whole thing in the bank, and they lend that out to let's say Rikia, and they charging Rikia 20%, but they only giving you 0.1%. that 20% what they save, what they charging her. Whereas with the credit unions charge you that same 20%, but they give you 4% out of that for your money that you're using. So you actually see more and your money grows faster with the credit union.
Yeah, and indeed it did, because like I say, boy, I want to shout out my credit union, Bahama Islands. I love y'all, Miss Porter, Miss I feel with the next lady name. I love all y'all because y'all know my face. When I was working, I was coming there. This is what I used to do, right? Let's say I make, I'm gonna just throw a figure out there. Let's say I make $5,000 a month.
Yeah, don't tell them all.
Oh yeah. Let's make I say I make $5,000 a month. Every month,
something like
I used to take 20% of that and put that there, babe, and don't touch it. And I was doing that for sort of like 3 years or whatever, to where it's like, it's building up. Or I might put more than the 20% and take some out when I needed to go on a trip or something like that. So that really helped me like manage my money. And then, something I also came across was making an initial investment in a mutual fund.
Yes.
So tell us, because I heard y'all talk about that when not Leonard, the
investor, the Titan funds.
Yeah, the Titan fund.
Yeah. So if I have to use an example, a mutual fund is like a combo when it comes to stocks or investing. So you get, with a combo, you get your fries, your burger, your shake, or whatever. Mutual fund is all of those things together in one. So they take your investment and they put piece over here, piece over here, piece over here, and you doing that with other like-minded people that invested in the same fund. So my money, your money, Ricky money, and everybody's money go into this one fund, and they invested in all these different places, and then they pool all the interest. So you would get a piece of that interest, I would get a piece of the interest, the fund would get a piece of that interest. That's how they would do it. And each fund would invest in different things. So you have like, it ranges from safe, medium to risky. That means like a safe investment, government stocks and bonds, things like that. Then it'll be medium, more so like our stock market. Then it'll be risky. So it'll be like global and USD funds, whereas you could get more interest or you could get more return, but it's a lot more risk. So you can lose or what's not. So mutual fund is just a pool of your money is spread across a pool of investments.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's like, I have a very interesting story about that, because like when I was going to my father and asking him, like, because everybody want to be rich, but no, most people don't know how to.
Yeah.
And we believe it involves getting a high paying job and participating in consumerism, which is clearly like the complete opposite. But, I remember, I don't even know. I think I heard about a mutual fund. I asked him about it and he directed me to shout out Leonard Bahamas, my mutual fund. Y'all get plenty shout outs. Now I want y'all, put a little ad on the thing and we get paid it then, See what I said? But, I remember I went to their office and my dad went with me and they was telling me like, okay, this is what your mutual fund. So if, your initial investment can be this, and then you could tack on this by this per month, or, whatever the arrangement may be. So I was like, okay. So then when around a little bit before that, so I did the credit union. Before I did the mutual funds, I sort of invested in a little bit of crypto.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I bought into this cryptocurrency called Zoocoin. Like they were selling it. When I got into it, it was like 125 at the time. And I think today there's $10 per coin and I have like 500 coins. So like,
I think I remember that coin.
Yeah. So, and cryptocurrency was a hot topic in 2017 and it died out in 2018, 2019, and sort of had a little bit of reemergence with Bitcoin in the latter part of 2020. Like, what's your opinion on, because there is people that really for it and then there's others really against it because it sort of goes against the tradition.
Yeah. I feel like with traditional finance and banking, it's not like we used the certain names. We used the, like you say, mutual funds. We used the savings. We used the investing in basic things, stock, real estate, gold, oil, things like that. So as we progress into a digital age, now you have a digital currency and nobody could really predict like how the currency would go. Because like you say, it was hot in 2017, then it take a dip. And now we see, like, I wouldn't say a reemergence, but we see that it picking up with Bitcoin, reaching new heights with Elon Musk tweeting about it. So for me, I honestly believe in it because you can't deny the impact that it has. And we see that we are moving into a digital world. So with digital currency or cryptocurrency only makes sense. I do feel like it's a risk because it's still in the beginning phases. So while some people are winning right now, we do know people that would have lost millions of dollars just by poor investments or like selling too early or things like that. So it's like it's a risky because it's still developing, but you can't deny the fact that it is real.
So would you say, because I always felt like the financial institutions were initially against it because they didn't understand it. And now you see the rollout of like sand dollar, where it's like, okay, we was against digital currency, but we wanted to develop our sort of own mechanism to deploy to say, okay, we with the new
now,
digital.
See, the difference with that is with crypto is like an investment. So your cryptocurrency could go up. You could have your Zoo coin could be worth more 2 years from now, but it could lose value. With sand dollar, that's 1 for 1. So you could have your sand dollar for 20 years. You have 20 sand dollars, so 20 sand dollars.
Okay, so explain to me, and for those who don't know, what is a mechanism like sand dollar and its comparative peers and things like that?
Okay, so what's been explained as sand dollar is being rolled out to help those islands where there aren't any banks.
Okay,
we know that commercial.
So that's the primary reason.
Not only the primary reason, but just like technological advancement. Yes, exactly. So we know that paper money is becoming like old right now. So they're trying to move forward with technology. With sand dollar, if you have Apple Pay or Google Pay, things like that, it works similar like that. Whereas like once you have your digital wallet, you don't have to have physical cash, and with that, you don't need a bank or ATM on an island that already pulled out. So they still have options of doing their banking where they can make a deposit, they can make a withdrawal, but it's all digital. Whereas, okay, for you to get money, you got to ship it, find an ATM, fill up the ATM, and then find a bank to go down there. So it still gives you access to a bank without a physical bank.
So do you think in the near future, there's obviously, and this has been going on since I feel like the last recession, like in 2009, where more things are becoming digitized and there's less brick and mortar establishments. So do you foresee in the future, we live in the Bahamas, let's say within the next 10 to 15 years, where we don't have no more commercial banks, but we have more digital mechanisms that allows us to bank online?
I don't see the commercial banks going away because you need the bank. Even if you have digital currencies, there are still people that prefer another option. But I feel like in the next 10 years, like it'll look completely different. So as the whole traditional, you go in there, you go stand on the line, and you wait 2 hours, depending on which bank you go in, to make your deposit. Like things are looking super different. Shout out to I ain't shouting on nobody, but
well, you can shout them out.
Shout out to Scotia because Scotia and BOB, they have this ATM.
Scotia actually is my bank of choice. You know, I want a promotion from you right on this TV because I got must see 3 cards with Scotia.
Yeah, but Scotia has it. Well, they just get it now, but it's like you could just put your money in, no envelope, just put your money in.
The new
they
ATM.
Count the money in, and then that's automatic on your card. Before they used to have to deposit it, hold it for 2 days, and then you get your money. So that makes it easier where you don't have to go into the bank at all. Things like different apps where plus their new card, you don't even have to swipe, it just touch.
Hold on. Actually, I got it right here.
You got it?
Yeah, right. I tell you guys bank with Scotia for real or not. So it's this new MasterCard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so with that you don't even have to swipe. You could just tap the machine and pay things like that. So you don't never have to go inside.
What happened? Oh. We can blur that out.
You don't even have the money on that card. That's why.
That's why. Nothing. I dead broke.
He got the bubble.
We don't ever speak, we broke.
His money ain't reach
Listen,
yet.
for them, I ain't speaking that on me, but yeah. But
So I don't see commercial banks going away, but I do see it looking completely different from what it is now. No more in branch deposits or none of that. Like completely different.
I feel that. So, you brought up the point of government bonds, and people sort of hear constantly about like stocks, because whether even though a lot of Bamans wish they could participate in the New York stock market or the Chicago stock market or any other international stock markets, so they only understand stocks, but not many people understand like government bonds, and that's something that I too have recently. Well, actually, during the pandemic, I bought some when they had an offering back in August.
Okay.
Because I was always because I had like from 2017, I had a checklist of things I wanted to do financially. I wanted to buy some stocks. I wanted to get a mutual fund. I wanted to open up a credit union, buy cryptocurrency, and then like my plan for before the pandemic, my plans for 2020 was to like start purchasing real estate.
Okay.
And then
you want to roll?
Yeah, and then also securing my intellectual property.
Oh, that's deep.
So all of that was I had these goals like, all right, when I get this money, I can do this, then I can do this, and then do this and do this, because it's like when you've been before we go into the government bonds part, when you've been financially deprived, because I agree with Rakia, we will not speak broke over our lives.
No more brokenness.
No, it was never broke. Only objects get broke.
Exactly.
We human beings. So when we was financially deprived, and especially me, I was like, I never want to feel this feeling again. And I was like, yo, you gotta understand how money works.
Yeah.
And be like, all right, let me do the certain things to secure myself long term. And going to securing yourself long term, tell us about government bonds.
Okay, so government bonds is how it works. If the government has a new project or anything like that they want to do, instead of them hitting up treasury, they would have a bond offering. So if they want to build a road or any type of projects, a new building, they have a bond offering. They raise that money in that bond and they complete the project, and then over time you get paid interest on the money that you inject, and then after your term is expired, you get your money back. So that's the way the government uses to raise money. So it's pretty secure, whereas the government gonna pay you back, and it's you get interest depending on how much you invest and then how long you do a bond for. Then you get interest paid. I think it's semi-annually, so that's like twice a year.
I got my semi-annual payment, I think in December or January. I saw it come on my account.
Yeah, so that's like one of the most safest and guaranteed investment products that we have over here, because you know that the government will pay you back. And then they offer it, like I said, they offer it if they have any projects or any road works that they need to do. Instead of them trying to go into treasury to say, okay, or top NIB, like, we need to borrow a couple $100 million, they'd have a bond offering and then use the money from there.
Okay. So with that, and we talking about all this investment talk, most people would be like, well, do I see a quick return of profit?
No.
Or with anything?
Now, that's the thing. With investing, you have to go in the mindset that this isn't for today. When you invest, you have to understand that's a long-term process. That's like working out. You can't just go into the gym one day and then go hop on the scale and be like, I 10 pounds lighter. Like, no, after you got to put in the work, your money got to put in the work, time, and consistency. So that means you can't take it out, then put it back in, take it out, put it back in. So you got to sit there and let it rock.
So I was explaining to one of my boys one time, he was like, I was trying to tell him, about financial literacy and putting money up. And he was like, so you got to act like, man, that's just money I just throwing away or hiding or whatever. I was like, you can't really look. I wouldn't look at it like that, because I always would say, understand, it's just like, I'm really into farming. It's like you planting a seed. Yeah, you can get fruit from it today, but when I get to a big tree and you sitting under that and they giving you shade and fruit and sustenance, like you going to like it. And it ain't going to happen in months or even years. It could take a while, but when you finally get it, you're going to be happy that you made that choice.
Yep, like you got to have that patience with it. Patience to let that tree or that money tree grow.
That's good. So we talking about all this financial talk. what do I need to do to make my first investment?
To make your first investment, I usually use the acronym SBI. So SBI stands for savings, budgeting, and investing. So there's this guy. I guess everybody can look him up when y'all get a chance. But it's Dave Ramsey. And he has like a 7 steps to financial freedom or what's not. But one of his first steps is you save $1,000, and that would be your emergency fund. So once you start focusing on saving, there are different tricks that you can use to save. Whether you set up a standing order on your salary, so they just automatically deduct that, or something like that, or you just mentally like put it away and then forget it. That's savings. A better way to save is to put yourself on a budget. Now, certain people feel like budgeting is a restriction, but that ain't really how it works. Budgeting is just you telling your money what to do before your money tell you what it's going to do. So instead of my money saying, hey, I want to go this place, I like, no, you going to this account or you going there. So budgeting is just a tool for you to basically show your money who in charge. So once you get your savings and your budgeting together, that would show you how much you could invest. Because if you living from paycheck to paycheck, you really don't have no space to invest. So you can't be out here saying you want to invest in mutual funds when you don't even have money for groceries because you don't really have a set budget. So I feel like savings and budgeting, once you go get those two first, that puts your priorities in order. Yeah.
And with that, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back with you on another side of Erryting Kool. All right. So we're back. This has been a very riveting conversation. I'd like to thank Jay for coming on again. So we done talk about these numbers and these geeky things. I hope y'all been,
The geeky things.
I hope y'all been, staying with us so far and being, just influenced to, even though we're in a pandemic. Actually, we need to start with that. So we said all those different things. Now, how do we make those things apply in a pandemic or a recession? Because we technically, the health crisis is a recession, is a pandemic, but we are actually in a recession. So how do we scoop ourselves out of that, applying those what we just spoke about?
Okay, applying the budget to living in the Panasonic. Okay.
I like how you said that.
No idea. He corrected me like, no, it's Panasonic.
No, that's like
Panasonic. The Panasonic. One thing I saw was that with lockdowns and all of those things and just being locked down for a year, I hate this word now, but we saw what was essential. So we saw what we can live, what we need, and what we can live without. So it's like certain things or certain events that were going, we didn't really miss. And then it's like, okay, we know that, hey, we could eat at home or things like that. So I feel like keeping those things that we learned in place. So we know that, hey, Bamboo Shack was closed for 2 weeks at a time. I can live without a Thai snack. Matter of fact, I learned how to make my own Thai snack in the air fryer. That saved me my $5. How much a Thai snack is now?
Probably like $7 or something.
Flip. That saved me exactly.
Oh, Ricky,
I like $7. Yeah. See that? So you so those little savings and things add up. So now you actually know what you can live off. Now you can adjust your different budget categories. Hey, I had this much on eating out. I don't need to spend that much on eating out. That could go to my mutual fund. Like how you say you was putting something on your mutual fund. Things like that. Hey, I know that my car, I don't really drive or ain't that much places to go, so we don't need that much gas. Our gas budget could cut down or what's not. So I feel like just paying attention and then making those adjustments to what's important or what's necessary and then going from there. Because I feel like COVID really showed us what's really essential.
I feel it. So because like what also happened too, a lot of new businesses were started during the
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing.
pandemic too. Like, shout out the pizza bay. Shout out my good friend Fries with Benefits.
What it is, fries with benefits?
Yeah. I'm
That's dope as hell.
Yeah, I'm an ambassador for them. So
I need to check them out.
Yeah. Shout out Raquel. Raquel, you can't say I never do nothing for you.
Yo, that name so fire. Fries with benefits.
Yeah, Fries with Benefits. Who else? Oh, Curbside Rockers. I was at Bahama Bistro this weekend, right? And I was like, "Boy, they about to be fire when you see things about to be normal." Y'all built a whole brand. Y'all built a whole brand during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Where we had limited interaction. So y'all about to be fire when things about to be normal. And I remember I was talking to Daria when I was checking out the Eyes of Bahamian. They had a pop-up thing.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And I was telling them, I was like, "But they about to be fire when you see things about to be normal." Bro.
Yeah,
but like, when is the worst times is the best times for innovation.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like trying to pivot and really pay attention to what you could do or what moves you could make and what's not.
So, balling on a budget. Because we know we like to floss. We like to look good. I wouldn't say I've been cheap, but I always very frugal, minimalistic. I always like if I go in the store, I go immediately for the sales rack.
Yeah.
And I find so much interesting things on the sales rack.
Or like when you shopping online and you do from low to high.
Yeah.
Switch it from low to high. So you see the low prices first.
Yeah. Because it's like people like especially I think I get away with because I'm such an artsy person. So like I'll get something like out of the way. Like, okay, like these shoes. People is like, "Wait, where you get these shoes from, mate?" And I was like, "Bro, they was on sale, Dread." And I was like, "Wait, I saw these," and people would be like, "Wait, these look weird, mate." But I was like, "Wait, these fresh, dog, and these cheap too."
Just make it work.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's like, I always had that mindset. Or like when I was living away, Walmart got they special brand. I ain't gotta get Kellogg's cornflakes or whatever. Like, make it work or learn how to make it from scratch or something. So advise to people how to ball on the ball, how to floss on the ground with your $10 shoes, $20 jeans, and probably $5 shirt.
$5 shirt. You gotta sit. You gotta sit in the mic. You need a mic for that one.
Style is pretty much how you wear it, isn't what you spend. Because if we look at those Yeezys and these things that are coming out, honestly, they're really not that attractive, but they're just popular and people spend their money.
What's the name on it?
I could wear Zara and look hella fly, look way better than half these expensive brands you see out here. So it's really how you look, how you dress, your attitude, and your confidence, and not all that money you spend in unnecessarily. So I'm gonna spend $10 and look like $1 million. Thank you very much.
I agree with that, sister.
Preach. Church, yeah.
So go ahead, Jay.
She pretty much said it, and then I feel like it's making sure that your decisions make sense. So if you purchasing a high price object, make sure the quality match up, so that another word, but it could be a good investment. Like what we used to say, clocks.
Yeah,
everybody used to like clocks
like
popular,
10 years,
but the clocks exactly. Like I just showed a pair of clocks that lasted 10 years for true. So it's like if you gotta go high, make sure that it's worth the investment, and then pay attention to key pieces. So if you are the type that say, okay, you like jeans or what's not, like buy a good quality jeans and things like that, and then pay attention to tips and tricks. Like find a tailor. Find a tailor, because you could buy a pants on sale and it might be a little too big. You go to a tailor in a Grove, $5, pants slim fit, fire.
Cool.
So it's like paying attention to what you actually like and what you can do, and then just find other ways to adjust it and things like that.
Go ahead, Ricky.
You know what someone once told me? And this goes for people that likes fashion and likes clothes. And they were like, whenever you get a paycheck or whenever you get like money or income, use a small portion of that and buy one piece of clothing with that paycheck. And then when you get the next paycheck, buy another piece, and then so on and so forth. And as time goes by, within a month time, within 2 months, 3 months, you would realize you built your entire closet up with not having to spend or splurge so much money.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably like one of the best
I need to start
ideas
doing
I
it.
heard.
like break it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I do or what's not is pre-game. I know for people that go out, I use an example. A bottle of Jack Daniels is what $30 to $32.
Right.
Yeah.
But a cup of Jack Daniels is like $8 to $10.
Yeah.
So you could get 3 drinks for $30 when you could just buy a bottle for $30 and get like 4, 5, 6, or how much ever you pour it. So it's like pay attention to things like that.
Man, follow us for more drinking tips.
For more drinking and fashion tips,
Exactly.
follow us.
I ain't gonna lie, one thing that I used to like do, I used to say this even before I actually saw this. Jay-Z came out and he said, well, I saw him say it was a quote by him, but I used to say this before he said it too. If you can't afford something twice, you can't buy it. No, if you can't pay for something twice, you can't afford it. Sorry.
Yeah.
To me, that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people used to go away to school and stuff like that, and they had to drop out because they couldn't pay the bill too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if it was me, I'd have been paying tuition twice, paying board twice and stuff like that. And if I couldn't pay for it twice, I wouldn't have gone. You see what I'm saying? I think that makes sense to me too.
Yeah, most definitely.
Sorry to cut you off, but
Go ahead.
another tip that's low-key genius, but we don't really do it no more, is layaway. Now,
Can we still lay away?
you still can do layaway, but okay, so right now what's popular is the reverse, so it's credit. So whereas you buy it on credit and then you owe the people. So if you wanted to buy those tennis, you buy those on credit. Say it was $100, you buy it on credit, you get it. Now you not only have to pay $100, but you have to pay the interest, and the interest is 18%. Whereas on layaway, you put $30 down, you break it up, and then over say 4 to 6 months, you put $10 a week or something like that, and you get your tennis debt free, and you only pay $100. So it's like things like that. Like I think we just have to take the pride out of it. Once we take the pride out of it, you could really be balling. But
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's pride because you could even shop with food stamps.
I just
take
gonna say
advantage
that.
of food stamps.
Like-
In fact, I was on the line, and it was the elder guy in front of me, and I don't know if he looked at me and pitied me or whatever, but he gave me like this long roll of stamps, and I literally was in my glory. Like I was so freaking happy. I'm like, dude, thanks, literally, thank you. If you don't want them, just call me. I'll come for them.
Yeah. No, but I didn't even know like you could still lay away things because of like you said the whole credit and credit card system, or whatever. To where it's like, okay, if you can't like credit card and financing is a new term now. Where everything you could finance this table, you could finance this TV, you could finance this chair, these shoes. Okay, like even your phone now. Okay, if I want a new iPhone, I could pay the deposit on it and then
pay it down.
Yeah, and then, but you know, I always like to buy my things outright. Like I don't never like to pay no installment and the interest. Like if I can't buy it all at once right now, I ain't want it. I can just save until I have enough and then go ahead. So you know, but switching from that, so living on a budget. Now we often have debates in the Bahamas where we clown people for still living at home at certain ages and wanting to indulge into certain activities and things like that. What's your thoughts on that?
What certain activities you talking about? Certain activities. What certain activities?
Grown adult activities. But you know, that comes up in the course of what we gonna get to next on dating on a budget. But living on a budget, you know, what most people don't realize is in the Bahamas, most people live in a house that contains more than 5 people.
Yeah.
And it's multi-generational too. So like, you know, it's a rarity when you see somebody actually be in a financial position to where they can rent or own their own place of living.
Yeah. With that, everybody's situation is different. Like for me, I came from one of them houses where it was good much people in the house. So my decision to move out was more so for comfort. Like I feel like I had at the point now where I want my own space, or just I wanna move at a certain level of comfort. So that's why I moved out. But if you able to live at home comfortably, then I would suggest it. Like it's up to you and your financial position. I'm in the financial position now where I could afford to own my own place, pay my bills or what's not, and still have something left over. A lot of persons they can't, because like what the average rent is like $650 to $800. So you know, like, hey, that quality of life really ain't gonna be quality because all you living to do is pay rent. You can't enjoy your home. You can't keep the lights on in your home. You can't even afford data for your phone to beat while you're home. So does it really make sense to own your own space when you could just stay at home? So it's really weighing out your options because comfort is one thing, but how much you paying for comfort? Because if you stressed out and all of that just to maintain this, then I don't really know if that's comfortable.
So why is it so frowned upon to still live at home?
I feel like that's just society changing the goalposts and things like that because they can make fun of you if you live at home, but then they can make fun of you if you broke.
Yeah.
Like I always use this analogy, like in school they used to clown on you if you was a nerd, and now they clown on you if you can't read. So it's like society always gonna change your goalposts. Yeah. But I say you can't keep up with the Fergusons. Don't mind the Fergusons. Exactly. Like you have to know what you could do. And your financial position is yours. So if you know that your goals are, okay, I need to save because I try and invest or I try to own a house. Your mommy only charging you $250. Hey, little JJ. Hey, little Keish or whatever. Put something on the cable. And
that's what I've been having to do, bro.
Exactly. like, hey, put something on the cable.
Yeah.
$100 or what's not, and that's it. Whereas if you moved out because, hey, you want to walk around naked, you gotta pay $800 plus light and cable. So now, like, you losing out. So in the longer run, that kind of push you back further.
Yeah, I think because this argument always comes up on Twitter, and then we always have these brokey fights.
Yeah.
For a week, and it's like 80% of Bahamians don't have more than $1,000 in their bank account. So if that's the case, then 80% of Bahamians can't really afford to live on by themselves or, participate in every financial freedom that is possible.
And see, and that's another thing. So at what point do you say, okay, this doesn't make sense? It gotta make sense. Yeah.
No, go from yeah.
No, you were saying that most of them.
I said most young persons are like we said Bahamians. Most Bahamians are technically living on their own or like living with partners, and I would call that shacking up. But majority of them are like falling short or becoming delinquent on like their loans and their responsibilities. And I think what a lot of them don't realize is that it just looks bad on your credit. And I mean, like you said, it's one thing to try and keep up. But I think you should just literally be true to yourself, be true to your financial situation, and make sure you have like that internal peace. Because going out there and flaunting on Instagram, but then you going home and you eating dry, not even a toasted bread, but just bread out the packet and butter just to keep up with whoever on Instagram. That's like actually a pretty sad life. I would rather be home with my parents, but comfortable and could afford things than to be trying to keep up, but I flat broke behind the scenes.
I feel like people need to take the pride out of finances because if we look at whoever we would deem the richest people in the world, you would never look at them and be like, yo, like you super fresh or like you like or what's not. Like you wouldn't know their wealth until they tell you. But then there isn't a pride in that. I feel like sometimes we get caught up in trying to prove that we have money. Yeah. That we ultimately lose money. And it's like the focus should be on retaining and growing your wealth as far as proving your wealth.
Yeah, your wealth is silent and power is silent, bro. Like, but on to that. So dating on a budget. Because I don't know, y'all say this the dating pod. We done do the whole dating show. Reunion coming soon. We just need to record a couple other stuff. Yeah.
Contestant. What this is?
Well, you need to come and find your love the dating show.
Oh, jeez.
We can reach out to you. So dating on a budget, because that's another hot topic in the last couple of months. And that involves who could do what, whether it be 50-50 and who's a high value man and this, that, and that. So give it to us. All right. So were you with the splitting?
Split.
Okay, so give us your take financial advice.
My take on it is
he's the FA now.
I always tell people show up and get this right.
Okay.
So I've encountered women and just in conversation, like I know I can't afford you.
That's how I be too, bro.
And that ain't no slap on me because like I confident in myself, but just off, like just based on the conversations and your expectations, I know I can't afford you. So like, I don't even go in that realm.
You know what I just do? The women I can't afford, I just make them my best friends, bro. So I still live off. So like
vicariously.
Like I just be like, wait, but let me get cool with you because let me get in that door. Hey, best friend, 9. All right, cool.
Yeah,
but it's like, you know.
Now all them women who watching the show,
they don't
who
know.
Living through the, they don't know. Because you just give away your secret, bro.
That's what he been doing.
Yeah. Because see, why you do that is, right? Now, she don't have no expectation of you to be her man, but she was still willing to bring you around because she like, all right, you cool enough.
Yeah,
I comfortable with you to hang or whatever. So it's like when you get around, now you starting to figure out, okay, that's how she get influenced with this and that and that. That's why we got, the lovely Rakia with us now.
You realize she was out of your bracket, so you just had to
see, when you have very powerful women, you don't do the male stupid thing and be like, try to objectify them. You be like, hold on, you got something that I ain't got. Let me bring you around, make you comfortable.
Yeah.
So then when you get the buy, you can help me get the buy.
Yeah.
And I can be straight and make sure you straight.
That's what I talk more. Yeah.
So, shout out to all my lovely, beautiful lady friends out there. I love y'all. I know y'all love to watch a show.
But dating on a budget is really up the persons, and then you gotta get creative, and then, bro, don't be afraid to say that ain't in my budget. Like that's one of my catchphrases. Like that ain't in my budget, and you don't necessarily have to say it. And sometimes, like if you want to finesse it, then you could finesse it. Like, hey, you know what? Let's do something different. Let's go. Today is a good beach day. The beach's still free.
So let me ask you. Go ahead.
Before you ask, I think what men fail to realize is that what a lot of women would appreciate is effort when it comes to planning dates. So, and there are so many things that you could do, but I think I wouldn't say people lack creativity to actually plan dates. They're just lazy, and they think that a beach date is, I took you on the beach. Okay, I can take myself on the beach. I took you to dinner. I could take myself to dinner. I took you to lunch, dude. I go to lunch every other day. What's different? Like, what is different?
Okay, so this actually applies to my question. So, does chicken wings and fries constitute as a date?
What?
What if
See, it gets their reference.
What if
chicken wings and fries? We don't go on dates.
I don't know where that's from.
Oh, see, don't worry about that. You don't listen to Future.
That's what I'm saying.
Stay away from that toxic area. Don't worry.
No, but like, what about if we pull up to the drive-thru and they take you for a bamboo? If you like bamboo,
like,
you
just once I feel like a key to dating on a budget is paying closer attention, because you don't have the free will to say just burst them with the bub. So you can't be like, hey, just go get your hair do. Or what's not. Like you gotta be creative with it. So it's like you gotta pay attention to the little things that they do, things like that, or what's not. Like you're like, if you are to that level and it's like, that's one of her favorite shows. It's like you're like, I get a link. Like I find a pirated link. Let's go in.
See how
Oh my gosh. Build a little in-home theater. Like you could set it up with sheets. You could get like starry lights on Amazon for $10. You could get like popcorn, get the little customized things. These things are very cost effective, but like I say, planning takes time. And if you're lazy and you just think popping up to Fusion is gonna solve it, because my favorite show is there, I can take myself to Fusion.
And plus it looks good. Like it hit different. Like you ever had food cooked with love? Like that love don't be at the fast food restaurants. So you gotta slow cook the date.
All right, go ahead, PG.
No, I was just agreeing with him, honestly.
So one question I had was from a male's point of view. Should you date while you broke? Well, let me not say broke. Should you date while you are financially limited?
And this I wanted to ask a question about that too, because it's like, how do you get people to understand appreciation, to appreciate, right? Because some people just ain't appreciative.
Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of persons might not appreciate the effort. Like to you, that's your last, but to them, that's like, that's it. and then you just gotta go where it's appreciated. Like that ain't in your district.
You can't spend a lot of time trying to make someone appreciate what you bring. You have to realize when someone doesn't, that's either God saying, hey, not for you. Hey, not this time. Just go where you're appreciated. Go where your efforts are like respected and people actually, like that. And you'll be happy in life. But if you spend time trying to get someone to appreciate what you bring, you'd be unhappy, miserable, and your self-esteem will drop and you'd be super insecure.
Yeah. Go where your money is valued. So if like right now, I working with Jamaican dollars, I ain't going to the USD shop because I can't really afford nothing in a USD shop. But if I shopping with Jamaican dollars and I shopping in the Jamaican shops, I get more for my buying or I get more for my money. So just go where your money valued.
So you would say, okay, so if I'm financially limited, you just saying don't stop dating, but
I feel like you gotta have priorities. You gotta have priorities. So it's bigger than just, if I date or I shouldn't date. Like you should have your priorities in check. So if you then know that, hey, I financially challenged at this moment, whereas I gotta duck some phone calls if people calling for money. I don't think you should answer Keisha call if it involves. Yeah, exactly. If you duck duck everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you duck everybody, and if you can't pay for a house, then don't pay for her. You know? So just things like you gotta have your priorities in order.
Okay, I feel that. Because I feel like, I think it comes to in every person's life where, for me personally, I had to cut back on a lot of things to get myself sorted with some financial foundation, which was the beginning of my whole financial literacy exploration. Like, I feel like I had to stop dating to get up to like, okay, I want to invest in businesses, invest in this and that and that, get my money up to be like, okay, now when I come back, it's like I get more going on.
Yeah, like you can walk with a little swagger now.
Yeah, because I feel like I play with your mind a little bit. Like, you know what it is? You date a woman and she making more money than you.
No, that ain't a problem.
I know that ain't a problem. But I'm saying not because she making more money than you, but you ain't making no money. So now you start thinking, wait, like you can't even focus on the relationship properly.
Or you know what it is? Y'all go out and she order her meal. And now you there sweating because it's like, like with VAT and gratuity, I really don't know how much it could be. And I know I only get a certain amount of money. Yeah. So it's like, why put yourself through that pressure?
Yeah, because it's like, if you're in a relationship but you financially limited, it's like, you challenged.
Yeah.
You have too much thing, you can't even focus on the relationship. So that's why I would encourage. Yeah.
This is why Jay said you got to know what your priorities are. So
exactly.
I think when you're in the phase of life where it's like, you know what, right now it's just self-development, personal growth. Let me get my finances together. No dating. And that's okay. I think people are just so afraid of like being alone, but it's like, you're not going to die. Like focus on you, get your money up. When you have money in the bank, and your life is, I wouldn't say 100% organized, but you got a little bit of structure, you are a totally confident person. When you do not have money in the bank and you're trying to keep up and your life is sort of a little bit chaotic, you are a very insecure person. And to date, while you are insecure, all you're doing is adding stress to that person that is together and have their stuff going on. And that is completely unfair. Then you could be, both of y'all going to go out trying to pray and you went to someone you shouldn't have been with, and she here trying to help you, and it's just
it's just so.
So hold up, I'm gonna take over. But while we here, I gotta ask everybody, and then I could chime in. What if you already dated, or like okay, so it ain't like you dating, but it's like girlfriend and boyfriend? How y'all feel about that situation?
And you go and you become financially challenged.
Yeah. So what? Like one side becomes financially challenged. Like how do y'all see that, or how do y'all approach that situation?
We need to give you a mic.
she need to keep that.
Yeah.
I think being in a relationship and then one person becomes like a little bit financially challenged. I see it as, on one hand, I see it as a test because, they say like relationships are like preparation for marriage, if that is your end goal. But then I also see it as, whereas, okay, well, if this person is transparent as to why they're having their financial challenges and it's something that I can accept right now, it's like a baggage I could accept right now, then I'll try to like work with them. But if it's something super irresponsible and I just feel like I can't deal with it, whilst there's no like real obligation, we're not married, let me get out. So
you jumping ship?
like I said, it could go either or. It could go either or. Like your financial challenges has to be like real reasons. Like, okay, not you being irresponsible. I think you being irresponsible is a red flag in itself, a whole different story, because you're irresponsible. And I can't grow you up. I can't train that. I can't train you in that direction. But if it's just something happened and I could accept it and we could work with it, move on from there, then it's a small task and I'm willing to overlook it. And it'll be like a little bit of small little like tension here and there, but we could work past it and get over it. But if it's like a move out of irresponsibility and it's something that's kind of like persistent, whilst you're not mine, like with the ring, I'm gonna just jump the ship.
I just wish y'all could see your face just now.
Yeah. But I can talk to this from being on both ends. Like it's like, like I said before, I've been the financially challenged one in their situation, and I removed myself out of that situation knowing that I wasn't all the way together where comfortable with myself. And then I've also been in a situation where the other person was financially challenged.
Oh, you know that dating broke girls.
They was in mate, yeah. And actually, these two situations happened relatively around the same time, and they wasn't making no sense. And I had to let that situation go because that was gonna make me crazy. Because it's like, so I think to Rakia's point, it is something that, it can be a test depending on what the parameters of the situation is. Because if let's say you get furloughed during the pandemic, we in a pandemic, we in a recession. I can't kill you for being without income when the whole world basically on fire.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you things normal and you've been splurging money and all kind of things and accrue all this debt, and then you lose your job because some negligence you do, it's like, fam, I can't have no sympathy for you because it's like, all these things been piling up and you ain't making sense. So
definitely I see it's where compromise and partnership comes into play.
Yeah,
because if somebody else, if one person down, the next person's supposed to be like, look, we's a team. I can bring you up or whatever. That's where you compromise and say, look, I got you when you down. You got me when I down. But you got to be responsible and mature about it when that time comes to do that, for the next person.
Yeah. I just want to add to that. I feel like communication when it comes to finances is a major key, because in working in the banking industry, I've had couples sit in my chair and the utmost like surprises come out and you just be there like,
wow.
Like I had a dude one time call me ahead of the appointment because him and his wife were supposed to come in to get pre-qualified for mortgage. So he called me and he was like, yeah, so Mr. Johnson, I got one little loan for my mommy. But
wow,
I telling you that, I just see him want to bring it up in front of my wife. And I was there like, okay. So he had a loan that he didn't tell his wife about. But they were trying to get a house together.
Wow.
And that loan would affect how much they qualify for. So I didn't know how you expect me to give you the proper qualification without all the information. And then there was another situation where this couple came in and it was like, okay, what are your savings? And the wife called off all the savings accounts, so it was not all that she knew about. And then hubby came with like 2 extra savings. And she was like, where this money come from? And he was like, yeah, that's mine.
Cool.
So like he had like secret accounts that she didn't know about or what's not. So she was there just there. And it was awkward for me because I just write it down like, oh, you didn't know about this. But it's like communication with finances, just like how you said you can't really knock nobody for going through a hard time. They gotta communicate that. And then they also gotta communicate their position, because you might be thinking they okay when someone knock on your door. You thinking that's a side boy, but that's the repo who come to repossess the dog. So it's like communication, finances. When you get to, I feel like that's another form of intimacy.
That should be the first thing.
Yeah.
Decide to become serious.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's a form of intimacy. Like Like that's close to you. Like how much you make, how much debt you.
Right. Like finances is such a touchy subject to talk about, especially when it comes to like dating. But I think before you decide to really become like super, super serious with someone, like when you see, I don't know, like I'm thinking even before engagement or whatever, like you need to start discussing finances. Like, hey, this is where I am. This is what I have. This is what happened in the past. Where are you? Where do you fall?
Yep.
Can we handle this? Can this work? Like, and that saves you a ton of heartache, and it literally just saves you. Like, if you just learn to be transparent and communicate, that could save you a lot.
Also, habits, because like Justin said, he was on his whole financial literacy journey, whereas he put good habits in place where Shaniqua, she didn't really worry, but no mutual funds or nothing like that. So although you all kind of mashing right now, you all have two different habits. So when you saving, she ain't worried about saving.
Yeah.
So like, you gotta listen to me.
You gotta communicate and then make sure your habits match up.
Habits.
Yeah.
You could see habits through lifestyles. They're not.
Like, you know how hard it is to explain to somebody, fam, you worrying about this materialism and I trying to build businesses and invest into things that going be multi-generational and they don't understand. That's one of my biggest relationship don'ts. I don't want to be with no woman who don't understand the value of money. Like, period. Like,
the value of what?
Value of money.
Okay.
Like, if you don't understand how money work, that's a non-negotiable for me, bro.
And
PG?
Yeah, and I gotta say, like that's a problem that people in all different cultures and all walks of places encounter, because nobody really teaches money on the surface level or what's not. Like, you don't get that in school. They don't teach you that in family life. Like, what we get PE, after PE, then civics or something like that isn't in school curriculums or nothing like that. So if your parents don't have good financial habits or that knowledge, then you're pretty much stuck. Like what we learn about ASU, and then we learn about ASU, we learn about double Sundays, and then get loan to go away, and then that's pretty much it. Like, nobody talking about the credit unions or things like that. So we gotta make that conversation more prominent. It should be.
It should. Yeah. And even then in college, they didn't really talk. But, But Jay, I would like to thank you so much for joining us.
No, man, I appreciate you all having me. This was
a
fun.
Great talk. I almost tempted to be like, we should do an after part. But thank you again for joining us on Everything Cool. If you all have, actually, we could put all of Jay's handles in the description below.
Yeah, my handle is the same thing for everything. So it's J Johnson FSF.
Yeah.
On all platforms. So you ought to just reach out. If you
I didn't even get into him, how he's an actor as well, but that's a conversation.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
For another day.
That's a different cap. That's a different part.
That's a different part. Right. So, thank you all again for watching Everything Cool. We can see y'all later. Yeah, see.